I get to paint a mural for Dreamville. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm burnt out.
All of that work for what?
Dreamville Festival, the largest annual music festival held in North Carolina, created by hip-hop legend J. Cole. Every year, Dreamville looks to fill their festival with stunning artwork throughout the event. So each year, they team up with Artsplosure to hire a select few of visual artists to create large-scale murals that help bring the festival to life. And this year, I wanted a chance to be one of them. So I submitted my application in hopes to be one of the artists selected. And for what felt like years, I waited and waited and waited. And with the festival only about 11 days away now, I hadn't received the word. So I started to accept the fact that I just hadn't been selected. But just when I thought that my application was denied, all of that changed.
Oh my gosh, I just got an email that I was selected to create a 12-foot mural for Dreamville this year. That's crazy. Y'all, this is literally gonna be like the biggest painting I've ever made, and thousands of people are gonna see it. Probably including J. Cole and some of the artists signed to the Dreamville label. Bro, I gotta make sure this is one of the greatest murals that Dreamville has ever seen. Now, the only catch is I only have 10 days to paint this mural before I have to take it out to Raleigh, North Carolina and drop it off to the Artsplosure team. So I'm not about to waste no more time. I'm about to head to Lowe's right now to grab all the materials I'm gonna need to get this thing started.
So it was required that the mural was painted on 3 8x4 feet sheets of plywood. And once it was mounted on the festival stands, it would create a 12-foot long mural. So I started off by stapling the plywood to my studio wall and then sanded it down to prep it for paint. We were given full creative reign on the design of the piece as long as it pertained to Dreamville. So I decided that I wanted to create a collage of all the members signed to the Dreamville label. J. Cole, JID, Ari Lennox, Earth Gang, Boz, Kaz, Loot, and Omen.
10 days to paint 9 heads. It's not gonna be easy, but y'all know me, bro. I'm here for the challenge. Let's get it.
This was a very ambitious decision by me because I've never painted this many realistic faces on this scale in such a short amount of time. I mean, the painting I did for J. Cole last year took me 2 months, so I already knew going into this, if I wanted to get this done, I was gonna lose a lot of sleep. But in order to make anything great, you gotta make some sacrifices.
That's how we looking so far.
You got Cole, Boz, Jib, Ari Lennox, Luke, Kaz, and right here is gonna be Omen. The 2 members of Earth Gang gonna be right there.
About to start actually trying to paint some of them in, so let's do it.
Okay, I know this doesn't look like J. Cole right now, but I promise y'all I'm gonna fix it later. He's just gonna look like Joel Embiid for a little bit, okay? Cool.
Y'all, it's looking so good so far. Look at this.
So 2 days have gone by and I've actually managed to paint both Boz and Ari Lennox within 24 hours.
Which gave me a solid game plan moving forward to ensure that I finished the mural on time. If I were to paint 2 portraits every day for the next 3 days, all of the portraits would be out of the way by the 28th, which would give me the remaining 4 days to work on the background, their clothing, and any other detail that I may want to add. So if we can stick to that schedule, everything should go smoothly. So next I started painting Jid and Luke, and these 2 were taking a bit longer to paint than the last 2 portraits because of the details in their tattoos.
Low key, I just want to be like, let me just skip the tattoos, but it's like, nah, I can't, because tattoos are a part of him, so it's important to add them in. March 25th, 6 p.m. We're actually a little bit behind schedule now. We still got 4 faces to paint. I wanted to only have 2 faces left after today. I really don't want to fall behind schedule any more than I already have, so we're gonna have to double down.
So in an attempt to get back on schedule, I decided to start cutting my sleep even shorter than it already was. I was originally sleeping about 5 hours a day, but moving forward, it was just 1 to 2 hour power naps on the couch and sometimes on the floor. I was too afraid to lay down in my own bed, get too comfortable, and ending up sleeping way longer than I was supposed to.
About time you woke up, man. You know you missed a deadline, right?
Nah, bro. I already finished the mural. I was literally just editing the video.
Nah, bro. That must have been a dream. It's April the 3rd. You've been asleep for like 7 days.
No, that boy just woke up from the real dream. They said J. Cole was out there looking for you and everything. I could have woke you up too, but I was low-key hating. Hey, where the hoes at though? Yeah, I couldn't afford something like that to happen. But even with cutting sleep, I still wasn't able to get back on schedule. Mainly because the reference image I chose for Omen had a lot of unnatural orange in the skin tone. And after struggling to get the color right for way longer longer than planned, frustration and fatigue began to cloud my judgment, and it made me feel like the entire mural looked terrible.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm burnt out. Specifically on painting faces. I need to change it up for a little bit, man, because I can't paint another face right now, bro. So yeah, I'm about to work on the background, and I'll come back to the faces later.
I felt that taking a break from the portraits and starting on the background would be the best way for me to get my drive back. And for the concept, I kept it simple because of the time crunch, but I decided to reference the official Dreamville clouds as a base for all the portraits to sit on. I also wanted to paint clouds in behind the first row of portraits, so to avoid overspray, I taped all of them off and then added in the clouds. Once I had the foundation of the clouds laid down, I was feeling so much better about the way the mural looked. It was like they started to bring everything together. I also plan on painting the rest of the background orange to match the Dreamville color scheme. But with my confidence back, or whatever this was, I decided to come back to that later and get back into work on the portraits, starting off with finally repainting J. Cole.
Again. That's J. Cole.
J. Cole was finally looking like himself. However, repainting him completely threw the schedule off because I not only had 2 days to complete the mural, and I still had to finish the background and paint the last 2 portraits. Based on the schedule, I wanted to be done with all the portraits 2 days before where we are right now. So at this point, that plan was completely useless. And there was only one way that I realistically saw myself finishing this mural on time.
So I'm probably gonna stay up the entire next 2 days just to make sure I finish this.
I'd already been awake for almost a full day when I decided this. So we were finna be looking at almost 72 hours with no sleep. It was gonna be a rough final 2 days, but like I said earlier, you gotta make some sacrifices if you wanna be great.
I'm so tired, bro. I just want to go to sleep. But you gotta stay awake, 'cause if I sleep, I won't finish.
It was taking everything I had to stay awake and finish the mural, to the point where I literally started cranking out push-ups every few minutes just to keep myself going. But thankfully, all that was left was the painting that orange background that I mentioned earlier. And just like I did before, I taped off all the portraits to avoid overspray, but this time I used plastic bags for extra coverage. Then I removed all the tape in the bags. And after adding in a few finishing details,
I finally finished. What a 10-day stretch, man. Golly.
I absolutely loved the way the mural turned out, and I was extremely proud of myself for overcoming the challenges that this project presented. But little did I know, I was soon to face a challenge that was far greater than any of the challenges before. So now that the mural was done, all that was left to do was to take it out to the Artsplosure team in Raleigh. So I removed all the staples and took the mural down from the wall. I planned on transporting the mural by strapping it to the top of the Jeep, so in order to make sure it was safe during the drive, I stacked the pieces together and wrapped them up in a tarp to protect it from the elements. After that, I securely strapped it down and got on the road, or at least, I thought it was secure.
Bro, I swear y'all will not believe this, bro. Oh my gosh. All that work for what? This is crazy, dog.
Because the plywood was so thin, once I got on the highway, the 75 miles per hour winds pushed the front side of the mural back and all the pieces cracked where the first strap was holding it. I was devastated. 10 days of hard work down the drain in an instant. There was no way I could submit this damaged product, and I didn't see any way of somehow fixing it before the deadline that was now only 2 hours away. I didn't know what to do. My mind and body were exhausted. I was on the verge of calling it quits right then and there. But I put in way too much work to just give up without even trying. I felt like there had to be some way to still make this work. So I contacted the Artsplosure team and let them know the situation. And they told me that the production team would be picking up all the murals from them at 9:15 the next morning. And if I can fix it and get it there by then, I'd be good. So we now have a 20-hour time limit to fix the mural and get it to Riley. I was gonna have to find a way to push through my exhaustion for one more day. So I headed back to Lowe's to grab 3 more sheets of plywood, some wood glue, and wood filler. Then we brought everything back to the house. My plan was to glue the new sheets of plywood to the back of the crack ones to reinstate their base. After that dried, I would then sand down the chipped areas and fill the holes with wood filler, and then repaint over the top of it. After that, we once again wrapped it all up in the tarp and strapped it on the Jeep, but this time we placed it in between 2 thicker pieces of plywood to prevent the wind from pushing it back. Once all that was done and I got in the car, all the exhaustion from being awake for 4 days straight hit me all at once, and the next thing I remember was waking up in Raleigh and dropping the mural off just in time.
Yeah, we just dropped the mural off. We barely made it up here in time, but Even though I fixed it to the best of my ability, I'm still low-key worried that like once it's on display at the festival, people will be able to notice where the cracks are at and that it would just take away from the whole piece. But I don't know, hopefully I'm wrong, but we just gonna have to wait to find out on the day of the festival.
When we got there, people were lined up to get pictures with the mural. And the beautiful part about it, no one even noticed the cracks unless I told them what happened.
That's what I was thinking too. Yep.
The people absolutely loved it.
That shit pristine.
Thank you.
But not only did the people love it, so did some of the artists. I ended up meeting and getting a picture with Lou. Kaz and Omen showed love on Instagram. Dreamville posted it on their official Twitter. But by far, the craziest thing to happen that weekend, the Artsplosure team came to me on the second day to let me know that they received the email that morning from J. Cole himself saying that Dreamville wanted to keep the mural. Insane. I'm still wondering what they're gonna do with it. It's amazing how everything worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. Even though I was physically and mentally drained, even though the mural cracked on the day of the deadline. It's like I always tell y'all, man, those roadblocks that seem impossible to overcome in the moment, they're literally just tests from God to see how bad you want to achieve what it is that you set out to do. The obstacles are only the end of the journey if you allow them to be. So keep your faith in the Lord and continue to go after your goals relentlessly. Because as long as you keep going, the possibilities are limitless.
You said you not subscribed. You better sub up or I break my foot off in your